the steel and fire, the open roads are thrown by your life televised, we're breaking every bone. Adrenaline surges, brace from the fall, hitting it with HardWire. Hear the engine scream, living fast and reckless, this is a metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing, in the spotlight we shine. A biker's brutal journey, this life is ours divine. With HardWire, the crowd screams our name, chasing down the shadows, we're addicted to the fame. Chains rattling loud, the brotherhood's alive. Every episode join us, we're here to survive. From dusk till dawn, we're the kingdom is through. Hitting it with HardWire, hear the engine scream. Living fast and reckless, this is our metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing, in the spotlight we shine. A biker's brutal journey, this life is ours divine. On the edge of chaos, we embrace the feel. Hitting it with HardWire, we'll always be here.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hittin It with HardWire, where we're back today on our normal schedule, 2 o'clock as normal. I am considering bumping it back to like 3 or 4. Somebody will have to let me know what they think of that idea, because it seems like a lot of people in the comments was saying a little bit later in the afternoon works out better for their schedule. I don't want to go on real late, but maybe 3 or 4, bump it back an hour or 2 hours. What's up, Carney? We got Carney and see you, Nitro, Brother Mike, Papa, Pitbull stopped in earlier there and was ready for the show early. And yeah, let's who else we got? Frank, Brother Frank, can't forget you. Oh, tired. How many people out there how many of the family out there, how many of you guys own campers? Anybody? I'm getting my new experience in shopping for campers. I went Saturday morning. He said to be there at 9 o'clock. I picked out the one I really wanted. Online, I seen the one I wanted, and seemed like a good deal to me. I talked to a few people. They said it doesn't seem like a bad deal, and of course, the salesman made it sound like he was giving me a huge discount, and it was a super great deal. And you know how salesmen are. And talked to him for a little while, and he goes, this isn't like buying a car. You don't get to buy it today and drive it home today. It doesn't quite work that way when you buy a camper. I was like, what? He said, realistically, when would you think you'd need to take it home? And I said, man, at least 2 or 3 weeks at the latest. I ain't waiting forever. But they said they like to pull it in. They have a big building. They pull it in the big building, make sure it's all cleaned out for you. Then they'll tell you to come in and go through like a checklist, and you'll have to sign off to make sure that you agree that everything was in such and such shape. And I said, this will be my first camper. Will they run me through how everything works? Because I do not know. I don't know. Like how to start up, turn the propane on to make sure the fridge and everything's all turned on and working, and make sure I know where to flush the poop out and put the good water in, and not to put the wrong water in the wrong one. I got to make sure I know where all this, how all this functions, And yeah, then when I come down and see you, Mike, I can you have a parking spot for a camper, right? think you said you do. If you do, I can come down, hook up, and when I want to stay for like a week, I won't have to pay for a hotel, and I'll crash in the camper there. If we get things get a little out of hand, I don't know how far it is from your house because I didn't see the pad. But if it's not far from your house, I can crawl crawl to the camper. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, I'll have to have them. He told me if nothing else, he knows the guy who does all the explaining, and he said he will over explain everything. He will go through and you'll have a hard time getting him to shut up. That's what he said. I'm hoping they don't slam us too hard with too high interest, because if I go back up there, cool. If I go back up there and they tell me the interest rate's super high or something, I'm just gonna have to back off because our credit's not real great. So I'm thinking they're going to try to hit us with at least a little bit of a interest rate. That's sucky interest rate, but it's like a car. I accepted a high interest rate on one of the vehicles I had, but I refinanced it in a year. So I mean, you can get away with doing something like that, and the price of it that I'm looking at is only $12,000, and I'm putting $2,000 down on it. So I mean, it ain't like I'm a $40,000 camper or anything like that. Here, I brought it up so I could show it to you, and you can give me your opinion of what you think here. This is the one that I'm looking at. I was told the smooth-sided fiberglass sides, they tend to leak a lot less than any other type with like regular siding on it. It's what I was told by someone giving me advice, and this is a double axle. And I was told they tow a lot better, and with this curved front, it'll help with the wind, so it should haul nice. I'm only driving an F-150 with the 2.7 Ecotech, and it's rated for 6,500, 7,000 pounds, and the trailer's weight's 4,000. So I figure that's right about the top of what I probably should be hauling, because I'm going to have water and gear. So I shouldn't go that's about the highest weight I want to go. It's not the biggest camper. It's kind of a small camper, but it's a 24-footer, which is not that big. I mean, it'll work nice for me and my old lady, and me and a couple guys when we got to go places, and don't want to sleep in a tent. We can haul it to national events and whatnot. I mean, it's when I was up there, it was covered with snow. You can't see the battery box. The battery box over here. The battery box does not have a top on, and I told him if I buy it, you're going to put a top on that at least. You're not going to give it to me like that. I know a battery box is only like, you could probably buy. I think you can buy them for like $30. But I told him, I said, when I drive it out of here, I want it to have the damn top on it. It shouldn't be charged up. It's got the auto mechanical leveling due to Mahickey in the front there. It's got the bunks in the back here. It's the one that's got the little bunks in the back. The pictures are a little bit deceptive though, because I mean, as big a guy as I am, I got in there and I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong, I definitely like it, but it's not that. It's kind of small. I mean, what do you? I know what do you expect, But yeah, it's kind of small, but it's got what they call a Murphy bed in the front. It folds up into a couch, and then it folds down into the. It's got a 3-burner oven, microwave. The fridge is big enough for anything I could think of. As far as camping goes, you put plenty of beer in there, fit a little bit of food in most of my food's usually freezer food or Uh, anyway, there it folds down into the. I think it's a queen size bed. The bathrooms, It's a camper bathroom, so it's. I mean, it's kind of small, but some of them are really small. This one isn't too bad. It's about medium size. I could stand in the shower. I would be a little cramped for me to get a shower in there, but there wouldn't be no hanky panky in the shower. You know what I mean? It just no, there ain't enough room for that. It's got a CD player, or I don't even have. I don't think I even have any CDs anymore. But microwave. You can't see them. I don't know if you can see what I'm circling, pointing at here, but those are little speakers outside. So it's got little speakers outside, and this is an electronic awning. One of the ones that's electronic, so it'll come out. Supposedly it's in good shape, but the price is $11,999. I didn't think that was too bad. That sounded like a pretty good deal, man. The 2018. Uh, so we filled out all the paperwork and got everything started. That's why it says deal pending. That's us. I put a little bit of a deposit on it for them to hold it for us. I even already, because I didn't realize that you wouldn't get to take it home right away. I already rented a spot to put it because I could fit it in my driveway, but I live on a little tiny one-way street, and I think it'd be almost impossible for us to back it in. I think it's unlikely to happen, and I am not the best at backing trailers. My old lady's better than I am at it. But I will have to learn. I debated for a long time if whether or not I was going to like go this route and get uh, a nicer, little newer one, or if I was going to go because I'm going to put like 2 or 3 thousand down. Go and find, because I can find functional campers for around $3,000, $4,000. I was debating on whether I should just buy one. That way it's already mine and I don't have a payment on it, or get something a little nicer that I got some payments on for a little while. But it'll take me a little while to pay it off, but it's a little nicer and I can take care of it. I was thinking about, I don't know, let me pull it back up once real quick. If any of you know anything about campers, see, so if it'll let me zoom in here, Control plus plus, I'm wrong. Control plus. I don't know what the fuck it's doing now. Oh, it's making the chat great big. Control plus, minus. Over here, click on that. Control plus. These here along the seams here, I noticed they're like I don't know what happened there. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? I am not sure what happened there. I think it's a StreamYard problem. Every time I attempt to go back to sharing my screen, it's popping me right out of here. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. So how is everybody anyway? You guys doing all right? Sure hope so. It's been an interesting week. Am I back on? Did I? What the fuck? My whole computer actually blue screened on me. Reset. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back into my computer and rearrange some things. Something's not right. It is unhappy. I do not know why. It worked fine for the longest time, and now all of a sudden, it keeps wanting to blue screen on me. I put a card in there that added more ports, USB ports, and I think I need to take that card out because it never did that until recently, and that's kind of the only thing that's changed recently. Fucking computers, man. This is a brand new computer, so I don't know. It's got to be something I'm tinkering around with. What I did was, I think what the problem is I took the card out. I had another NVMe and I put it in. It's only a 1X slot, and I put it in there, and I was worried about it not being fast enough, so I want to make it faster. And I need more peripherals, so I went ahead and bought a 1X card that's got a bunch of USBs, extra USBs on it. And then I found a little Wi-Fi. That little Wi-Fi card that plugs into your motherboard. You can unplug it, and it's got a slot there. And I found one that'll let me. It comes off of that part of the board with a little ribbon, and it'll let you plug in your NVMe into that Wi-Fi card slot. So I did that, and I don't think it likes it too much. I think it worked just fine for a long time. Then I did a bunch of editing and stuff where it was accessing that drive, and then maybe it doesn't like being plugged in that way or something. I don't know. If I try to do too many things or access too many things on this computer, like when I get, like last time, all I was doing was got on the internet, and it's like fucking just died on me. Anyway, what I was trying to ask you guys, I'll see if it boots me out again as soon as I do this. I don't understand why it would. It doesn't even take that much processing power or anything to do it. What I wanted to ask you is if you move around this camper, you could see all these seams here seem like they were just silicone caulking that protects these seams. And what I want to know is if you know anybody, what I was going to do is let me see if I can bring this up. What I wanted to do was tape off about an inch and a half around all these seams, sand it just a little bit, scuff it up good, and put bed liner, truck bed liner, urethane liner on there along all these all these main outer seams. It seems like it would be a lot more permanent, because what they said was that one of the reasons why they leak is because of the silicone coming apart or deteriorating over time with ultraviolet light and whatnot, and eventually the little rubber seals will start going. And I was thinking to myself, man, that would be, if you went across all those corners with that urethane bed liner, that would be a good. Seemed to me like it would be a good idea and a lot more permanent way to seal up all them edges. And I thought maybe somebody knew something about campers and they could tell me. And Mike, you said you got the electric hookup and everything, man. If I come down for like 4 or 5 days, you have to let me know what you want to hook up, because electric ain't free. You have to let me know, or ask your dad what he would want to let me hook up for like a week or 4 or 5 days, something like that. When I come down. Yeah, hey SNS, how you doing? Yeah, it seems like it would be a really good idea. You'd still have to worry about like the seams around the doors and these, unless you unscrewed all the screws and took them out. And put more of a, instead of caulking like they use, maybe a urethane like they put car windows in with, for seals like this. Or you could actually, like I was saying, take it off, put caulking just along the inside edges, almost like a body filler, so water couldn't get up in there, and then urethane around it, and then put it back on. That way, even if water got in, it wouldn't be able to get in behind it. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Oh, thanks for stopping in, Papa. Wish you could have stayed longer. You have a fine day, though. Right now, we're not really talking about anything important. We're just kind of hanging, and I'm asking for advice from my viewers. Roll water and ice shield on the seams first. I don't know what it is, but I will look it up. The only thing that concerns me, though, if you think about it, is if you urethane over top that silicone, and over time the silicone will eventually break down, you're going to leave a big air gap. And while the urethane will still seal that, eventually you could kind of hit it and put a little hole in it, like poke a hole in that air pocket, and then water will get in. But again, I'm thinking, well, silicone probably, if it's not exposed to the air, that silicone will probably last a really long time. If it's not exposed to ultraviolet light or air, it may last almost indefinitely underneath that urethane. Yeah, see, that was the other thing I was thinking about, Gary. If I don't know if if the trailer needs to flex, it needs to have a little give in all the corners, like when you're driving and whatnot, then urethane wouldn't really be a good idea because that urethane's hard. I mean, it would be almost like building. The outside of this is fiberglass. This is all fiberglass, and that's what I was told tends to leak less than the siding style. But it would basically make it like it was all, the whole fucking thing was made out of one solid piece. I mean, the old what is it, wind streams or whatever, they was all made pretty much out of big sheets. I seen one of those too, and I seen a wee little camper. It was almost like a little teardrop camper, and it was really neat. But fuck me, they was $30,000. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Why in the world anybody would elect to buy a little tiny, teeny, tiny camper and pay just as much for it as a great big camper? I will never figure out. That is insane. You're an idiot. I mean, I know they do it because they want to be able to pull it behind a car or something instead of being behind a truck. But good Lord, you could buy an SUV or some of the really stouter, newer cars will still haul these things, man. Yeah, see, that's might almost be better off rather than like a Rhino, because Rhino liner is really hard. But you can buy that paint on it that basically dries like rubber for a truck bed. And that'd still have to be better than silicone. I mean, rubber's, I don't know. See, that's the thing. That's the only reason why I was thinking of the urethane, because it's pretty damn UV resistant. But it is hard. When it dries, it's going to dry hard and almost permanent. And if it has to flex, it's not going to allow it to flex. Flex Seal. I never thought of that. I've never really had any experience with using Flex Seal. All I'm looking for is, I don't want my damn. I know that's the number one thing that kills campers is when water gets in them. Now I'm trying my hardest to think of a way to really waterproof it, because I just don't believe like old fashioned bathroom caulking silicone that they put on, that's basically all if you go along all these seams, you can't see where I'm pointing. If you go around all these seams, you could see a clearish, like, look like bathroom tub and tile type of outdoor caulking. And yeah, there's got to be a better way to seal that up, seal all the seams on the thing to make it a lot less likely to leak. Because caulking, it'll last you a few years, but when the sun hits it, UV light hits it, it eventually it won't last. Even I know that, and I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I think this will be nice for what just for me and my old lady, and it won't be a uh when we go and I volunteer because I'm that nice enough to do so. I volunteer to give some of the guys a place to sleep when we're out, places. We won't be doing a lot of partying inside because there's just not enough room for all of us in there. But if we go in there one at a time and get into beds, I mean, there's enough place to sleep. That's probably considerably better than sleeping in a tent. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did talk to Blair already about it a little bit. Blair said that he knew a bit about these campers, and he's had a few similar, not like this one particularly, but he said he's had a few, and he said that'll be good for like me and my old lady, and I got a 10-year-old stepson and a dog. It's big enough for that. Which the majority of our things that's what I wanted it for, because I'm starting to travel a lot more, and I really wanted it something that I could just pull with me, and I don't have to pay for a hotel all the time, because hotels are getting stupid expensive too, man. If you travel very much, hotels are getting expensive. I'd rather just have something I can take with me that I could sleep in. I was worried about finding a place to park it to sleep once in a while, but a friend of mine told me that most rest areas that allow semis to pull in, they'll let you pull in with a camper and sleep in the back. As long as you're not setting up and like trying to, have a fire or anything. They don't care if you pull in and just, crash in your camper or whatever for a while. So that's one of the things I was worried about. Because believe it or not, you can have a camper or a tent or whatever and want to live out of it, but you just can't find. There's almost no place that isn't private property where they'll even let you park one. Hotels range anywhere from most of the ones I've seen range anywhere from $70 with free bed bugs, or 180 for a mediocre one. And if you want a really nice one with like a jacuzzi tub and all these nice things and an indoor pool, then you're looking at $250 to $300 a night. I mean, hotels have gotten stupid, man. Yeah, but I thought it'd be nice to. I'm sure it sucks down a lot more gas. Probably not too terribly bad on the highway, because I mean it don't take a lot to pull them. I mean, especially when you already got the momentum going, and you're just cruising along. It's got to be the starting and stopping is going to be really bad on the gas mileage, but. Uh, but that's the plan. That's the hope. I did see a couple of them of old beat up ones that they say aren't leaking, which is the first thing I look for, because some people say, "Oh, that is no big deal. You could fix if the floors are a little wet and a little bit of this and that. You could fix it." And I'm like, The campers are made out of specialty like light materials that tend to be hard to work with, and I'm not down for trying to redo a camper. Walmart's used to let you, but it's my understanding that they're kind of chasing people out now. They've quit letting people do that. Well, that's enough about me and hopefully my new camper. I'm hoping. I was so excited I pre-rented a place to park it, because like I say, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to. The driveway here is big enough, but this, I live on, like I said, I live on a little tiny one-way street, and it's backing it in. There's not enough room, I don't think, to get it in here. Yeah, I understand that I don't want to trust them, but when water's coming in, you can usually pretty easily find signs of it. The one I was looking at that I seen, I think I can get for $3,000. Got it looks like a regular camper, but the two ends fold out like a kind of like a pop up camper would, and they tend to be lighter. Uh, and I kind of like that design because it, like I say, they tend to be lighter and they kind of have a lot of the awesome, more awesome parts like the fridge and the dinette. You can sit and play cards at and whatnot. I tend to like those. And I seen one for $3,000, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I could if I can get it for $3,000, I can just go get it. What's up, Sessa? Thanks for stopping in. I asked the guy at the RV shop because I know you have to have a generator to run most of these. If you're not someplace that has a hookup, which most of the places I'm going aren't going to have regular hookups. I'm going to have a generator. And I asked him, I says, what is the normal wattage it would require to run one of these this size, like a 24-foot, to run it, comfortably and still have, like, if there's a TV and run the air conditioner and all, if that air, you need to, if it's hot enough, run the air conditioner and all that. And he said about 4,500 watts in most cases should run one of these size campers. And I really don't know much about it. All I know is I tried to get one that converter that you could plug into or hook to your battery in your car, and it turns it to 110 for running a coffee pot. And believe it or not, a coffee pot draws a ton of power when it's making the coffee. So it's hard to find one. You need about 1,000 watts alone just for a coffee pot to run. 6,500? Is that what you mean? You said a 6.5. You mean 6,500 watt? I was thinking, because if you want the life of a generator to last you a long time, you don't want to run it hard. So I was thinking if it takes 4,000 watts normally to run one of these, then 6,000 watts is probably a better place to be. That way, if you're running 4,000 watts, you're not stressing your generator. You have some headroom, and then your generator don't have to run as hard, and it's more likely to last longer. You can tell me if my philosophy is correct, or if you know how many watts is usually good enough for one of these. If anybody knows, I appreciate the information. I appreciate the advice. I seen a couple of pretty good deals on some bigger ones, like 8,000 watts. Because I know what I was going to put down as a down payment on it, and now I'm trying to talk him into letting me make a little bit smaller down payment, and so I can have enough for a generator too. Because if I had 3,000 and I put 2,000 down on it, it gives me $1,000 for a generator, and I seen a couple of nice ones that I think could do really well for this for around $700, $800. while I hate to blow everything, all at once trying to. And insurance isn't too bad. They told me to get an insurance quote, and the place they gave me, it's called Good Sam Insurance. And I tried to log online, and their website didn't work half the time. I said, that doesn't make me very confident about wanting to use your business, So I checked with Progressive, and as much as issues as I've had with Progressive, mostly my fault when I was younger, and it was mostly me stiffing them because I didn't believe in insurance, and I thought you shouldn't have to have it, and they tried to force you to have it, and a couple times I didn't pay Progressive, and I switched to a different company, and I left the amount that I owed and told them to show it up your butt. So Progressive don't like me very well. But their camper insurance seems to be about the cheapest. It was about $40-50 a month. How far am I from Philadelphia? About 6 hours. I know because I drive down towards Lancaster, Pennsylvania all the time, which is about another 45 minutes to Philadelphia. But I go down that way quite a bit. At least 4 or 5 times a year, anyway. What size is generator S&S? Because I thought that would be also very nice and handy for at least like enough generator power to keep like the furnace running, because when the furnace runs, it's a gas, but all the blower and everything, all that is electric. So I don't know how much it would take to keep the basics, like your refrigerator going, your furnace going, in your house should the power go out. I thought it'd be nice to have for both reasons, for the camper and for like emergency situations, because I've had before, believe it or not, I wasn't in a club at the time, or I'm sure I could have found a place when I was younger, though. We had a couple ice storms here. The power was out for like a week and a half, with everything covered in ice. The power's out, and no way to keep warm. And that's when my kids were littler. And I had a girlfriend at the time who had her own place, and I asked her if I could stay with her for a little while till the heat come back on, and she said no. I said, what the fuck kind of crazy bitch are you? Anyway, I broke up with her, and but for them situations, man, it sure would be nice. It's a good reason why, because I thought for years I ought to have a generator for that very reason. And I want a dual fuel, because on the front of the camper, there's a gas line that comes out, that you can plug into. I'm assuming that's so you could run gas to your generator if you wanted to, because the propane system. Hi, Sarah. Popped in just long enough to say hi, but you can't stick around watch any of the show. I've already been going for almost an hour. Show's always on at the same time. She always says, well, I don't know when you're on, and I forget. And, well, as far as the world goes, the world's gone crazy as usual. Cash Patel got in. I think it'll be a good thing, but hell, I could be wrong. I've heard that Elon Musk was going to come into the FBI and do some stuff, and Cash Patel basically told him to fuck off, which I can see. I could already start seeing some problems. But hey, Pablo, what's happening? can already see some issues there, but ultimately Trump's just going to say, hey, let him look. I know the FBI usually handles its own stuff interiorly, but let him look for money abuses. And then he'll bring them to you, just like you would to Trump. And then you could handle it or something along them lines. There'll be a compromise in there, but just like any other, if they're auditing, going through finances, they got to, whether Cash Patel likes it or not, they got to go through his too. Oh, I didn't know how 35 and 4500s are smaller, a little smaller one. But they say, I've read like your refrigerators and freezers and most things in your home, except heaters and like your coffee pot, because it's got to heat that water up real fast. Most things in your home nowadays don't really have that much draw because everything's more efficient than it used to be. What's up, Dean? Thanks for stopping in. We're kind of having camper talk, and I'm just moving on a little bit to some world crap. Was talking a little bit about what's going on in the world that I can remember. I think Cash Patel will be fine. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, will be really good. I also found it pertinent to mention that if you remember, I think it was on when me and Mike was on with Hollywood, that I said repeatedly, I think it was when he asked who I thought the next ticket would be after Trump leaves office. And I said, I think it'll definitely be J.D. Vance as the next president, as long as he doesn't do what a typical vice president does and kind of disappear. If he stays out in the open, stays hard at work at being public and trying to get out there and do good things and stay in front of the cameras and make sure people, know he's out there doing stuff, I think he's almost a shoo-in to be the next president. I don't think anybody really stands a chance. I think it'll almost be a gimme if he does that. If he stays out there, stays in the public eye. A couple of them speeches he had that I seen recently were really good. He's not putting up with no shit, and he's telling other countries like he thinks it is, especially with their laws about free speech on the internet and whatnot. He went after him about that. He said, well, maybe, we've always helped each other out because our values kind of aligned. And he basically said, well, if our values don't align anymore, maybe we shouldn't be helping each other out no more, because we're not going to keep helping you guys out if you're not promoting democracy anymore, and you're going to have ridiculous laws like this. And yeah, a lot of European countries were shocked that he said that, and I'm like, yeah, man, fucking tell him. That's how it is, man. It's the truth. There's more problems on your continent by a long shot than there is on ours. We don't have nearly the garbage going on. So, yeah, I would think if you want allies from over here, you need to be a little more aligned with our thought process. Or if we leave you to your own devices over there and say, you do your own thing, they'll screw themselves, because, if Putin decides he wants to take over, let's go in. Well, I want to say, man, you was our friend, but you decided you didn't really want to be no more. So, good luck. I'd probably be a crappy president because that's what I would do. I'd be like, sucks to be you. Good luck with that. I'm like, hey, it's nice here. Yeah, good luck with your business over there. Have fun. Dean, was you on whenever I was showing everybody the camper I was looking at? Hell, I didn't even tell my daughter about it. I didn't even tell my daughter we was buying a camper or trying to. I don't think my old lady told her either. But it's nothing fancy there, Dean. I'll bring it if it doesn't make my computer crash like I did last time. I'll bring it back up. This is the one we was thinking about getting. It's a flag, Forest River Flagstaff, ultralight, 2018. It's only a 20. Like I say, it's only a 24-footer. So it's not super big or anything. The inside of it's nice. It's got the why the hell did it go back to that? I didn't click on that. Oh, there we go to all photos. There we go. It's got a Murphy bed in it. What they call a Murphy bed, which is nice because you can leave it folded up and have a little more room. Like if y'all like it's raining out and y'all want to congregate inside and sit at the table and play cards, and stuff. It's got a little 3-burner stove. Although I already told the old lady more than likely we have a little tiny smoker, like a little tiny like a desk size smoker. And we'll probably take the smoker, and I have a little about the same size charcoal grill. It's actually a real nice charcoal grill. It looks just like one of the big ones that Walmart makes, except for it's a little baby version. And we'll probably take that because I don't. If I'm going camping, man, you don't want a regular cooked meal, man. You want something grilled. So I don't see us using the stove almost ever. I'm always going to have my charcoal grill and a bag of charcoal. That tastes way better. But I think this will be a perfect little camper to haul around. It's not too big. It'll be perfect for hauling around. When I come down and see Mike, I won't have to get a hotel and I can stay close by. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how far away the parking spot is. Mike said he had an RV parking spot. I don't know how far away it is from his place, but I'm sure I could crawl that far. Wouldn't be the first time I've had to crawl far across the yard. I get there eventually. But that'll be fun. That'll be a lot more fun when I'm close by. We can drink or smoke or whatever the hell strikes us at the moment. Have a good time, and I won't have to worry about having to drive my ass back to the hotel. 2 or 3 acres from your front door. I might want to bring the wagon. I think I'd crawl my ass in the wagon and make my wife pull me across. Come on, honey, push me, push me. I don't have a 4-wheeler or nothing. I mean, you're not supposed to operate a vehicle when you're drunk, but whatever. It's private. It's on private property. It ain't on the road. It'll be all right. I'm not a speed demon. If I was a speed demon, then I'd be a little more worried, but I'm not a speed demon. I seen a little, I think it was from the 70s, an old Harley Davidson golf cart for sale around here. I only wanted $1,500 for it. That sounded like a good deal to me. Golf carts, believe it or not, can be pretty freaking expensive. We got a giant golf cart dealership in the next town north. And they got some, I gotta say, they make some cool golf carts. They make golf carts with like big mud tires and all kinds of stuff, man. They make some cool golf carts. One of the plants I worked in one time, we had to have a golf cart to get around the plant because the plant was damn big. What's up, AU? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. We were talking a little about campers, and I mentioned Cash Patel a little bit. I don't know what anybody else's opinion on him, but I think he'll be really, really good. The wife said, if I want to, Mike, when we come down, if I want to get my, try to get my bike down there, she said I could ride the bike and she'll drive the truck with the camper on it. So that might be an option. If she's driving down there, I don't know how well she'll do a 10-hour haul at a time like I did. So it might involve a stop halfway, sleep in the camper to get that far. But I think Cash Patel will do really well. He was a big one that helped uncover the whole Russiagate nonsense, and they was trying to get him to swear that he won't go in there and start firing people. And if I were him, I think one of the first things I would do was look and see what moron signed that, knowing damn well that saying that was legit. There was a bunch of, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to say for sure, but I'm pretty sure there was a bunch of FBI agents that signed that saying that they believed that was 100% accurate. And that was paid for by freaking Hillary Clinton for somebody to basically write it up like a story, make the whole damn thing up. And that he ought to go in there and investigate the hell and I would almost immediately fire everybody that signed that document. And it's not payback. It's an obvious case of fraud where it would just happens that they portrayed it against Donald Trump, but that's straight up fraud. Them people who signed that document need fired. Period. Because they straight up perjured themselves, in my opinion. I don't know what kind of background he has, though. I didn't really look into it too much of what Cash Patel's actual background is as far as like, does he have experience was he an FBI agent before, or was he, what was his job before? I'm not sure, but I know he was involved in a lot of high profile things that really helped Trump out. Yeah, I'm gonna look for I've thought of some different ideas, some good ideas I have to use. I want to buy an old beat up pontoon that I can just take the pontoon bottoms off, or even if it's just a pontoon and like a frame, and I've thought of quite a few cool things I'd like to do with that. Get my welder working and fired up. make me something real cool. A little party island, a little party pontoon. I could think of some cool things to do with it. If I could find an old bike, I'd buy it. Have an old bike on there. Put like an old steamboat style paddle wheel on the back. That'd be cool. At any rate. Oh yeah, I did see that they at least temporarily appointed him as head of the ATF as well. I know there's a whole bunch of pending lawsuits, Second Amendment pending lawsuits, that so far seem to be going well in favor of abolishing the ability of states to sell you permits for different things, finding that it's unconstitutional. The semi-automatic weapons bans are unconstitutional. There was one that found it was I forget what they call it, an as-applied case or something like that, for the one guy, but they deemed a lot of the automatic weapons bans unconstitutional. So we'll see how it goes, but so far, I mean, there's a lot of positive movement. There's a lot of positive getting rid of a lot of DEI. People are finally fighting back about a lot of that DEI nonsense. I say I seen a Harley Davidson one. It wasn't too bad looking either. Because believe it or not, Harley Davidson made a lot of other shit at one time. I looked into toy haulers, but my truck will not haul that much weight. They tend to be about a normal camper weight, and then if you add 2 bikes to it, which are mine to be a dresser, and my old lady's a Sportster, so a Sportster's not real heavy. But by the time you add the weight of 2 bikes, my truck won't haul it, and not really interested in trying to go into much further debt to buy a bigger truck. I like my truck because it's still, if it'll haul quite a bit, like not a huge amount, but it'll haul quite a bit. And if you don't get into it, it'll still get good gas mileage too. So I like that. It's not a consistently bad gas mileage, big ass engine in it. It's one of them Eco Tech F-150s. And they with the turbos, and it does real well. I like it. Most of the time I drive like a grandpa. I ride my bike like an idiot, but I drive my vehicle like a grandpa. I actually had a kid ask me one time. I was giving her it was one of my stepkids' dad's stepkids, which would be nothing to me, but we were all friends, you know. And she wanted me to give her a ride down the road, and she looked right at me. She says, "Was something wrong with your vehicle?" I was like, "What? What's it doing?" She goes, "Is the gas pedal broken or something?" I was like, "No, I drive like a grandpa. Leave me the fuck alone. You can't. There's always the option. You could walk if you wanted to." I'm not sure which ones you mean. If we're talking about the ATF, or I mean the Second Amendment lawsuit. Well, it's the Democrats that keep bringing all these lawsuits. They think that that's how they can take away everything that we're trying to accomplish, everything that Trump's trying to. Like, I shit you not, every single one of the things Trump's trying, executive orders, the Democrats have filed a lawsuit to stop it. And it's crazy. It's just craziness. And some of the things they're trying to stop, it's like, Why are you doing that? Why would you try to stop that? Why would you try to stop things that are clearly corruption? I mean, if they're like, but there's some good in there. Okay, there's $500 billion in bad shit and $10 million worth of good shit, and you want to defend one little $10 million program that's good shit over the 500 billion of bullshit. This is not a hit. This is not something you're going to win. That's not an argument you can win. And it's just insane with the shit that they're trying to fight. It's like they did not even listen to what the voters said and what people were saying. We're tired of that kind of stuff, and they just keep doing it. It's like, how stupid and out of touch can you be? But the best thing about them doing that and trying to argue and fight for the corruption is it makes it easier for us to win next time around. That's all I can say. It'll make it a skate right to the finish line. Yeah, 77. Whether they like it or not, man, pretty much everything that he's done are all things that we was all for. And I don't know if any of you seen the video footage. The funniest shit ever. The video footage of Bill Clinton and Obama saying they were going to do the same thing that he is doing now, and they was all for it just a few years back. It's the craziest shit. And if you show it to the Democrats, they just like freeze with their mouth open. They don't know what to say to that. It's the craziest shit. The thing is Trump was a Democrat at one point in time. So I don't think he's really changed to a Republican per se. He has literally changed the party to match the Democratic things that he believed in the most. He basically completely revamped the Republican Party, which is really good, because the Democrats revamped the Democratic Party in the worst possible way, and everything that the Republican Party has turned around and adopted that the Democrats used to stand for are all the best things that everyone liked about the Democrats. Now they got almost nothing left. All they got is the really far left crazies that are still on their side. And we've already proved there's nowhere near enough of them that's going to believe in that kind of garbage to fight off the rest of us. It's just not. Yeah, we the people voted for this stuff, and I for one, I am elated. I'm excited. I'm glad he's doing it. I think the government has gotten just so bloated and out of control. 3/4 of the people that are in government go to work every day and literally don't do anything. They created jobs just for the sake of growing government. It's a big bureaucratic mess and a nightmare. And it's like almost all their systems are so fucking outdated. It's no wonder, they're worried about trusting Elon Musk with our secrets. Good God, some of them are still running on shit like Windows 95 and things like that. Yeah, our security sucks. Just about anybody could get into that garbage. I just can't believe it. We need to modernize our government. The reasons why they said a lot of the old government shit's still running on old punch cards for crying out loud from the 70s. That's insane. Computers, if they had a good computer setup in place, more modern programs, better accounting software, our government would waste so much less money in the long run by tracking the shit better. Elon's already proven that there's billions of dollars in payments going to places we don't even know where the fuck it's going because of the outdated systems and the way their way of tracking some of this stuff. It's just crazy. There's a whole bunch of 200-year-old people out there that were paying social. Ain't no wonder Social Security's broke. He showed a list, and there's a whole bunch of like 4,000 and some people that are listed as 150 years or of age or older. That's insane, man. That's insane. And the fact that got by somebody sitting at a desk somewhere, somehow got by them. What in the actual fuck? You know what I mean? And I swear, I know Pam Bondi said she was going to look more into it, but I want to know where some of these checks were cashed. A lot of these programs, I'll bet you any amount of money. I would personally bet you tons of money that a lot of these programs aren't real. There was never any intention of using it for what they're saying they're using it for. They called it that, but when that check went out, it was somebody from our country that got the check. Somebody from our country that cashed it and put it right back in some of them motherfuckers' pockets. I'm willing to bet that's a lot of it was fraud, is laundering money, going right back into the pockets of the asshole. Some of them asshole Democrats. I'll bet. Oh wow, I didn't see the 300-year-old ones. But that's insane. But that's in all actuality, that's like money laundering 101, man. If nobody looks at the books, sending paychecks out to people that aren't real, that don't actually exist, is surefire one of the easiest, oldest ways of laundering money, because it's accounted for, but going to somebody else. I wonder. That's what I'd be looking for when you find a 150-year-old, to 200-year-old, to 300-year-old person. Where were them checks being sent? That's the first thing I'd ask. Where was those checks being sent, and were they cashed? And if they were cashed, I would be wondering who the fuck's cashing them, and I'd be throwing people right directly in jail. With any luck, JD Vance will win next time around, and this will get to be the new norm. Smaller government. I mean, that's what our founding fathers wanted. Founding fathers didn't want this gigantic, humongous government machine. It literally takes just in government employees alone, that for half of them that do nothing, was billions upon billions of dollars just in salaries for the people who didn't do anything. And although it might be unpopular of me to say, I don't think Elon Musk should be thinking about refunding American taxpayers anything, because that's not that none of that money was actual money. All of that money was borrowed money. All that money that they're saving needs to go right back to the person we borrowed it from, go right back to the fucking national debt, pay that debt down. Once we pay that debt down, then we could think about making sure that the taxpayers get their money back, or get refunds, or no taxes, even better yet. But all that money should go right straight towards the national debt, because the national debt, dude, we got our national debt, just paying the interest alone on a national debt is like almost as much money as our entire budget. It's insane the amount of interest we're paying on this. It wasn't interest-free loans, man. I'm kind of curious what the interest rate is, but on trillions of dollars, man. The interest rate payments alone are insane. And the government has got to do this, whether the people like it or not. This is how the debt problem has to be solved. It's going to have to be with cuts to programs that people might want, especially these wasted programs. They're like, but this helps our relationship with other countries. Fuck them. We need to be worried about ourselves. If we keep on the path that we're going down, this country ain't even going to be a country before long. We're straight up knocking ourselves so far into debt that eventually, this country is going to cease to exist. We're just going to go bankrupt. Yeah, something's got to be done. Maxine Waters. I almost bet you that they got a funky way of doing something like that where they know about what's going on. You know what I mean? They're giving certain people like, hey, we'll give you the such and such, and you'll get a regular check. And this will go. They got them weird foundations. We'll give a donation to your foundation, which ultimately is their money. It's so screwy. It's a fucked up game, man. It really is. The way they do shit. The government is just so corrupt. And Pam Bondi said one of the things, or no, it was Doge said one of the things they're going to do is investigate why people making a $200,000 a year salary are worth like $90 million or whatever, $100 million, when they wasn't worth anywhere near that when they went in to the government. And I said, oh, please do, because that's been a problem. That's been a huge problem. Yeah, Mike, Nancy Pelosi's one of the worst ones. Well, another one of the bad things about Social Security, and that I didn't know was a thing, that even keep trying to fuck with this microphone, trying to get it out of my face, but make sure you guys can hear me. Supposedly, people that make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, people that have millions upon millions in savings, when they get to a certain age, they still collect Social Security, and I think that's dumb. They said even if a lot of them say they don't want it, they still send it out, and they still kind of make them take it. And I think if we did away with paying Social Security to people who don't need the money and don't want the money, that would be a big savings as well. And we should make that an option for them to not collect if they don't need it. It should only be for the older people, who need it. Yeah, they got to get away from that too. They shouldn't be allowed to trade in the stock markets at all, as long as they're still in office. Yeah, some of them AI robots are getting fucking downright scary. We're not too far from Terminator. What's up, War Gorilla? Good to see you, my man. Yeah, I don't think we're too far from Terminator, man. Skynet's right around the corner. You see that? You see them one AI robots that Elon Musk had. walking around serving drinks and stuff at a party, dude. That we are so close to yeah, Terminator. I'm hoping they don't want to do that, but uh, the odds of them not doing it, they're going to be like anybody else. Anytime you realize you're way more intelligent, you're way stronger than that, you end up pushing people around when they try to enforce their will upon you, which we will, try to do to them. Redneck Side isn't in here today. He sent me a message saying he's going to quit doing his show for a while. I wanted to ask him about it when he was in here. If something happened, maybe he got a troll or something in there and it freaked him out or something. I don't know. I seen they was making a program called the Stargate program, and I was like, wow, hey. I used to be a fan of the Stargate shows, man. And have you seen in the news lately, and that you might have to dig around for the articles, Google a bit, but now they're starting to say that they think they're actually finding out that the pyramids are collecting some sort of energy. And if anybody follows a lot of I don't know if was on the conspiracy channels. There's a couple YouTube station shows about the pyramids, and I think it was Tesla's theory, Nikola Tesla's theory of what the pyramids were for, about energy. And now scientists are starting to discover they think this might be true. And it's really neat because they think they had some kind of high energy weapons or tools back in the day. And Tesla talked a lot about wireless power that could be transmitted like anywhere in the world through the atmosphere and all this stuff. And a lot of people were saying they thought that that's what the pyramids and things like that were for, the way they were laid out to be like a capacitor to collect energy. If you haven't went to YouTube and watched that whole story, do it, because it is very, very, very interesting. Yeah, if you get the opportunity, man, go to Redneck Side Motorcycle Whips website, check out their stuff. They got a lot of really good stuff, and it supports a small business. He definitely, he's not a rich cat. He's not a big conglomeration. He makes him and his wife make all them whips themselves and do all that. Just support a really good dude and a small business, local, not too far from me, about an hour from me. A really good dude. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, or anybody that YouTube's popping on his show, or invite him over to your show, he's a good dude. His wife's pretty cool too. She might be really cool. I just didn't get a chance to talk to her much. Must be nice. What's up, Beezer? Must be nice to have the bike out. That's what I was telling Carney the other day. He's riding around. Carney likes to ride around and like have his camera on it, like doing like show while he's riding around, which is pretty cool and all. But I asked him, I says, "You ever think about one of them helmets? They make these, dude. It's trippy. If you've never seen them, they make these helmets, and in the face shield, they got a heads up display, a HUD inside of them. They're expensive as all get out, but yeah, I think that'd be cool as hell to have. They'll have your speed reading and all kinds of stuff, and I think you can put your maps up in there. They're neat. They're really neat. Anybody have any opinions about what they think moving the show? Uh, Usually everybody seems to say a little bit later than works out better for them. I keep asking, and I'm not really. Whenever I have the later shows, some of the people will say it works out better for them. I was thinking about moving to maybe 3 or 4, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe that worked better for people. I'd like to be able to get as many people involved and get more people in, draw them in. I think I was thinking 2 o'clock was a good spot because like right after everybody, if anybody goes to church, it'd be right after everybody goes to church, and it'd be a decent spot. I wouldn't interfere with the people that like to go to Sunday evening church. Uh, Even though I don't think a lot, a lot of the people that talk and hang out in the show are real churchgoers. Uh, I consider myself Christian, but it's been a long time since I went to church. It's hard to find a good church. It really is. If I walk into a church and they start judging me by the way I look, I'll turn around and walk back out, and it happens more than one might think. Uh, they like to be real judgmental at some churches, and I just don't appreciate that. You don't know. You can't judge a book by looking at the cover. That was old Hank Jr. song. Dusty Rhodes used it to Enter the Ring. You can't judge a book by looking at the cover. Yeah, I don't like churches that are judgmental that way, and it's been a long time since I had one that I knew of that I felt comfortable with, and I'm real weird about going to new churches. I won't go to a Pentecostal church. If that's anybody's thing, more power to you. I won't go to one. Uh, Mostly, I think the most ones tend to relate to most, I think, are Baptist. I know the one I went to when I was younger was a Baptist church. Uh, and I went to a few that are like, I think a couple Lutheran Methodist churches. Uh, some of them have gotten entirely too lax and uh, following the word and making up their own definitions to include all the DEI weirdos. So I won't be going to any churches like that. But I always, my personal belief is, when you, it's like a funeral, or not a funeral, but like calling hours. You go to a calling hours, somebody's calling hours or visitation, whatever you call it. You go there to pay respects. It's not necessarily for them because if you're dead, they don't really, it's for the family and just kind of give yourself a chance to say goodbye. I look at going to church like kind of like paying your respects to God. You go for the purpose of just paying your respects to the Lord. Is it a requirement? I don't believe that it is. That's my personal belief. You should once in a while if you're a Christian, but it's not. It's not a requirement. The requirement is asking to be saved, uh, believing in God. Those are the main requirements. Live your life as good as you can. Always, if you screw up, ask forgiveness. Try not to keep screwing up. Try to be a little bit more like Jesus every day. Jesus was the only perfect person. None of us will ever be perfect. None of us are perfect. And if you go to church and everybody acts like they're perfect, they're usually the worst ones. And that's what I find more than anything at churches is a bunch of really guilty people that are guilty of all kinds of horrible things. And yeah, churches tend to be full of really bad people looking for a way to feel better about the terrible things they do in their life. Let's go back here and see what's that'd be interesting. Church on the beach. A cowboy rodeo church. That sounds like that'd be neat too. I kind of grew up going to a really big church, a big church, and you just kind of blended in. Hardly ever talked to or singled out. And then for a while, I went to a really small church. I bet there was 30 people in the small church I went to, and it was very personal. And the pastor, you know, they weren't real prying, but they were accepting, and they was happy that you were there, and wanted you to be there, wanted you to join as a member of the church, so and go to the meetings, finance meetings, and all that. Uh, and I like the smaller church better, to be honest. Yeah, you won't find me out. It's still like 30 degrees out here. It's cold. But my logic behind this camper ordeals, I've always wanted one. Always wanted one. Want one for going out to the lake and fishing if I ever find time to do that. But going to visit my friends, like going to visit Mike, and not having to get a hotel. A lot of our events, like our nationals, I can take the camper instead of sleeping in a tent. Last year was a giant mud pit where everybody was camped. That was a giant mud pit. It was terrible. Uh, yeah, and I'm thinking camper should be a nice thing to have. See you later, Beezer. Be safe. And like I say, I'll be good or be good at it, right? uh, that see that Bassett guy. That's the finance dude. He seems pretty intelligent. Seems to know what he's doing. We'll see how he does. Uh, Pam Bondi seems to know what she's doing. Cash was a good one. They got that other one dude, and they got so many appointees they got to get through that. Hell, a lot of them I don't know what the hell they do. Uh, I've honestly paid more attention the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years or something than I ever have. Trying to be more into politics. I was going to run, just like Mike said he's going to run. I was going to run. I don't know who to get in contact with uh, to talk to them about it. You always have to. We'll put it this way: your best bet is to get in with the local, like Republican. Uh, Trying to think of the word for it. They have a group, and they already have all the signatures and everything you'd need if they want to get behind you, and they like you and they would think you'd be good to run. They will basically run you, and they'll do all the legwork. And that's how usually it's done. I just don't know. I don't know who to talk to because there's a fee you got to pay, and there's so many signatures you got to have. But if you get in with one of these groups, they've got a lot of that for you already. I was going to run, and I don't know. I think YouTube's kind of screwed me on it. being in a motorcycle club's kind of got me screwed out of that because they find all that out, I'll be screwed. They'll try to use that against me because of misunderstanding, because they don't understand what it's really like. They automatically assume the worst. I mean, Ventura got in, but I don't think a lot of the people knew that he used to be a Mongol. I think that kind of more came out after he was retired from being governor or whatever it was he was. I think most of that come out afterward. And I used to listen to a lot of what Jesse Ventura's show, and I don't anymore because his show's gotten farther and farther and farther out there, man. He used to have some really good stuff. And as time has gone on, he's gotten older. He's getting into some of the really, really out there stuff. And I haven't been able to watch his show anymore. You can get a drink in church, Carney. You can get the communion wine and a cracker. You can get the communion wine and crackers. Or some churches, it's grape juice, but they won't do the wine anymore. I get a kick out of those that say you can't drink, but boy, back in the day, that's all they could drink. They used to drink beer like it was going out of stock because they couldn't drink water. Water wasn't safe to drink, so they used to drink a lot of beer. I mean, the beer wasn't as potent as it is nowadays, but they used to drink a lot of wine and a lot of beer back in the old days. But yeah, I was talking to Blair about maybe if I get the camper coming down there for a little bit, and yeah, I already want to make plans to come down and visit Mike again, maybe for a little longer next time if I have a camper to stay in. Uh, see if the deal goes through, so you can all keep your fingers crossed for me, and we'll see if the deal goes through and we buy this here camper. I want to try to keep it on a fairly short term loan without the payments being too high, because I don't want another house fucking payment. you know, the other benefit of having a camper is, if once you pay it off, worst comes to worst, and things get real shitty, you can live in the damn thing. Uh, I don't have any plans on getting rid of my truck, so once my truck's paid off, and if we pay the camper off, hell, might just decide to take off across country and see where we land, where we end up. Maybe stay in the camper for a while until we find work, and branch out from there. Always be a lot better of an option. We decide we're tired of this cold weather, we'll rent a storage unit, put all our shit in storage, uh, take the camper, go find us a place to sit for a while until we get our feet established at a job, and then get a regular place to rent, and come up here with the U-Haul and grab all of our stuff and bring it down. Because I think a move to the south is definitely coming for me within the next 10 years. Because I am, for one, tired of all this cold. I've lived it enough years. I don't need any more. After so many years of the cold, you just get sick of it. Especially if you're a biker. I always tell people I'm a biker, not an Eskimo. Damn it! I don't like this cold shit. Still on the diet. Uh, I haven't weighed myself to see if I lost any weight, because I don't want to feel discouraged if the scale isn't going in my direction as quick as I want. Uh, but I've been doing all right on that. Got back into eating a little more here and there, eating healthier stuff, trying to make a habit of eating healthier food. Um, I'm about to start incorporating. I got an elliptical. I'm going to start incorporating more exercise into it. I wanted to start feeling a little healthier and drop a few pounds first before I get on there and start hurting myself on that thing. If any of you ever been on an elliptical, them things give you a workout. I'm telling you. Uh, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe moving the show to about 4 o'clock. We'll see. I'd like more opinions of people letting me know what they think of if 4 o'clock would work better for anybody. Uh, Maybe I'll push it back, give me a chance, especially in the summer, to do a little bit more. It'll be hard on Sundays to go ride if I know I got to be back here at 2 o'clock to do the show. So a little bit later in the afternoon would be better for me in the summer, especially. 2 o'clock was more winter hours. Uh, maybe 4 o'clock. That's kind of where I'm thinking about laying at, 4 or 5 o'clock. I don't want to do the 6, 7, 8 o'clock shows. That's a little too late for me. I did see somebody was selling one of them. It's a toy hauler, but it's a trailer with uh, a front. Some of them are front section, some of them they're back section, but a section like where it's like almost like a flatbed. You can park your bikes on it, and the back part is like a pop up camper. I've seen a few of those. I'm not sure how that would work out too well. I don't know. If I had a bigger truck, it'd open up my options a bit more. I'm thinking I may be able to get, because I've hauled my bike in the back of the truck before with no effort whatsoever. The truck didn't even flinch at it. Might be able to put the bike in the back of the truck when I haul the camper, as long as the camper's empty. No water, no nothing. We'll see. I still got to get a controller, brake controller put in my truck. Uh, I know it's already got the hook up for a electronic brake controller. I didn't realize that was the law now. You have to have one, or they won't let you leave with a camper. But I need to figure out how to go into the computer and turn it on. Apparently, that's the thing. That's the hard part. Putting the module in is really easy. Getting into the computer and turning on the brake module is the hard part. I'm towing it with my F-150. I have an F-150 with I believe it's the 2.7 Ecotech, and they'll only haul about 6,500, 7,000 pounds, which is still pretty good for considering it's a small V6. But like I said, I like the idea of my truck because it's still, when you're not hauling something and not driving too crazy, I can still get really good gas mileage. and the camper I'm getting is 4,000 pounds empty. Uh, so I think I've got shit. I forgot what I was gonna say. Nope, that happens. CRS, brain fart. Oh, I'm assuming with a 4,000 pound camper, I'm gonna need a 2 inch ball. I think the ball that I have on my truck's an inch and 7/8, so I'm gonna have to get a different ball too. But at least that's not super like expensive. But somebody told me I won't know how much of a drop I'm gonna need until I'm ready to hook it up. I'm like, well, that's not real helpful. Some of them adjustable ones are really expensive. Uh, the one I have seems to work decent for most of the trailers I've ever hauled. I think it's only like a 2 inch drop or something, but by the time you put weight on it and it starts to sag a little bit, it's usually perfect. And I think with the trailer that I'm getting, it's a dual axle, so most of the trailer weight is on the axles, so it doesn't strain the tongue, if that's the word I'm looking for, quite as much as if it were a single axle. It won't have quite as much weight right on the back of the truck. The two seven's a speedy little guy. The 3.6 will haul more weight, but for some reason the 2.7 seems to be the sprint champion. Seems to be faster. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I don't know anything about that. If it'll help or what it entails to put anything on it. Like I said, the trailer itself's 4,000 pounds. It it's a dual axle, 4,000 pounds, so it shouldn't be much strain for my truck to haul it. I don't think it's still 2,500 pounds under what the truck's rated to be able to pull. So it gives me plenty of extra for water and gear, which I don't see me needing to haul a lot of gear because most everything you need's in there. There's a few pots and pans, a coffee pot, a little bit of food. Nothing. I can't see. I can't. I just can't see it needing more gear than a couple 100 pounds of gear. Even a full cooler is only about 100 pounds. So I can't see it coming anywhere near uh, the overhead. I don't know what 43 gallons of water weighs. That's probably, well, shit. I can Google it. I think probably 600 pounds. Water's a lot. What does 43 gallons water weigh? Not metric. Why would you tell me in metric? Who cares about metric? In pounds. Oh, about 360 pounds. I was actually a little over. Yeah. Oh, Dean said it before. Dean, you must have Googled faster than me. The tongue, yeah. Uh, Swing weight and center balance weight is crucial. You're going to want more weight before the front axle, so balancing between the two can be tricky. Hopefully, they'll explain all it to me. They said that they'll go through and explain everything I'll need to know. So hopefully they will. Because like I said, this will be my first camper. It'll be my first trailer of any kind. I've borrowed trailers and used U-Haul trailers plenty, but I've never owned. I wanted for the longest time to get a covered trailer, but this is the route I went, and this is what I decided to do with my money this year, rather than just get like a bike hauling covered trailer and stay with the tents. I don't want to. I don't want to sleep in a tent no more. I want a camper. I've always wanted one. So we're gonna do it. Or we're gonna try like hell. We're gonna try. At any rate, we're going on 2 hours. I try not to go over 2 hours. So I've BS'd with you enough for today, I guess. Oh, Dean, you just asked me a question. I was just talking about that earlier. Uh, I asked the guy at the sale Camp World sales place about generators because I know I'll need one. I said, "What size generator do you typically need to run a camper of that size?" It's a 24-foot. Most things run off of gas, but I'm going to put a TV in it, probably a PlayStation, but nothing crazy because TVs don't modern LCDs don't draw very much power. But he said normally you they about 3,500 to 4,000 watts running power is about what people need for one of those. That's a good area to be in. And I, being me, assume that it's always better to have more headroom because if you want a generator to last, you don't want it to be cranked up trying to make all that wattage and running hard. So you always want it to run. If you can get it to run 4,000 watts closer to idle, then the generator's going to last you a lot longer. So I'm thinking the 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 watts running watts is about where I'm going to aim because I've seen some good ones around $700 or $800. Mike, unfortunately, I think my PlayStation 5 is going to have to stay in the house. I do have a PS4 Pro that I'm not using that I believe I'll put in the camper. It's the God of War edition that I bought. Yeah, the trailer itself has uh all kinds of plugs on the outside. I looked and I seen it has the generator plug where you can plug your generator into like an outlet right on the outside of the camper. Uh, it had what looks like, I'm assuming, is a propane output not too far from where the generator hooks up. So I'm assuming that's in case you want to have a dual fuel generator and you want to run it off your propane tanks on your camper. I'm assuming that's what it's for. I could be way off. That's what I was looking at is the dual fuel ones. They don't create quite as much power when you use propane to run a generator, but it's cleaner. I would think it would be easier on the life of your generator if you ran it off of propane more often than gas. and that's an assumption. I could be way off, but that's what I was looking at, the gas propane dual fuel ones. I've seen a couple of nice ones for around 700-800 bucks. That's why I say I have to use as a down payment. I have $3,000, and I tried to tell the guy, now that I think about it, I'd rather give you $2,000 of it and have $1,000 to put towards the generator, because I'm going to need it. Because a lot of the places where I'm going to be parking this thing isn't going to have hookups. I mean, most of the time when you go to the lakes and whatnot, you'll have a hookup. But a lot of the places I'm going is going to be out in the field where there's no hookups. Generator is going to be necessary. I forgot my parents have this thing they bought. It's a lifetime It's really expensive. A lifetime membership. All you have to do at a whole bunch of the local big lakes. Excuse me. All you have to do is call them, let them know when you want to come, and then camp at any of them for free, because it transfers to the kids can use it. So there'll be a whole bunch of the lakes around here anyway that I can go to and camp for free, as long as I just let them know ahead of time. Yeah, I did not know that. He told me, he says, buying a camper is not like buying a car, because I went up there yesterday and I looked at it and walked through it. There was one corner when you first walk in where the paper's peeling off of the fake wood paper's peeling off. I said, that ain't no big deal. We can fix that. Either glue it back on or go over it and dress it up with some new contact paper. That's basically all it is. But he said, buying a camper is not like buying a car. You're going to have to run your information. We're going to pull it in once everything's, clear that you're buying it. We're going to pull it into the garage and clean it out good for you and make sure everything's functioning properly. And then we'll have you come up and go through a checklist and sign it, saying that, we showed you everything. We showed you that everything worked. That's probably that's good. That's good, because it kind of protects both of us. And they'll explain to me how to work everything, because I asked him, and I said, hopefully somebody's going to explain to me how to work all this shit, because I don't know how to do it. I don't even know. I don't want to fill, like shit water accidentally into the sink water, because I hooked it up to the wrong one or something, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I've never had one. I have a small, like, solar panel in one of them little solar generator things. That's good enough for keeping your phones charged and things like that. And I got a bunch of LED lights that we just put around the canopy and stuff, and it's good for running stuff like that, because they don't draw a ton of power. So I'll probably have that like something that I will constantly be in there for using for some things. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get going. But yeah, that'll be another thing. It'll be nice. But the only bad thing is if I want to go to any of the bike fests or whatever, my old lady's already volunteered to drive the truck and the camper. Or if I want to, follow on the bike, so we can get the bike and the camper there. They say I'll have to check with more knowledgeable people as to whether or not my truck will do the hauling both the trailer and the bike in the back of my truck. I don't know if it will do that or not. When I've hauled the bike in the back of my truck plenty of times, and it never has any problems. But I don't know what it would do if I had that in a trailer at the same time. it probably wouldn't be good. I don't know. If worst comes to worst, my wife's got a little sporty. That thing don't weigh nothing. We could always take it with us. I look gigantic on a little sporty, but if it's just to get around a campsite or something, I could do it. I suppose. Once I get my Dyna painted, it at least weighs less than my dresser. That always might be an option. Hoping I'll put it back there rather than my dresser. For the 20th time, I'm going to say that I love you all and thank you for joining the show and coming in. And I fill up the gap between Mike's days, because Mike's Monday through Saturday pretty much. And I'm just here to try to have a good little show and a chance for all of us to get together and chit chat while on Mike's day off. Yeah, like I said, Dean, my truck says it'll haul almost 7,000 pounds, and the trailer is only 4,000. So I might get away with it if I don't take water in it and keep it empty. I don't know. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wait until I actually have the trailer, have the camper, before I start digging into things and worrying about it too much. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. I really, really appreciate you stopping by and giving me and the family a chunk of your time on Sundays for us to have fellowship, as they would say, since it's Sunday, fellowship, chit-chatting and talking and having fun. And I always enjoy it. I always enjoyed hanging out with you guys. And I really appreciate you stopping in. I really do. God bless each and every one of you, or whoever you believe in. And I really hope you have a fantastic day and a wonderful week. And hope everything goes really well for you. And I really hope to see you next Sunday. For now, it'll still be 2:00 unless I let you know otherwise. I'm thinking about moving it, but that's yet to be determined. It might be closer to summer before we move it. I don't know. It depends on if you guys let me know what you think of moving it to like 4 or 5 o'clock or something. Not too late. Bumping it back a little bit. If you get the chance, let me show you. Send donations to the show to $Ball Valve, the progenitor of the IWN, the Insane Wheels Network, the Insane Wheels family, the pappy, the one who started it all. If you get a chance to donate, or you can donate. There's the link. I appreciate and love all of you. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. And I will leave you with the end of the show, word of wisdom.
See
There, I did it a couple times, so now I can say it's the words of wisdom from the legend himself. All right, you guys have a good week, and I will see you next week. Much love, honor, and respect.
Hittin' it with HardWire, we're burning it bright. Living on the edge, we'll ride through the night. No fear in our hearts, just the roar of the steel. Together we rise, now this life feels real. Yeah, held a new path on that twisted black line. A YouTube dream where his past can't confine. With every rev, he's reclaiming his soul, teaching the world how to ride, how to roll. Rising up high when the shadows surround. HardWire's the name and he's making it loud. Hittin' it with HardWire, we're burning it bright. Living on the edge, we'll ride through the night. No fear in our hearts, just the roar of the steel. Together we rise, now this life feels real.